This is Yohhamgambal. We're back playing Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga. I always say Digital Devil Saga. Last time we have to go take on the marbles now so that we can gain their trust so that we can fight the solids. And as you can see there, I was just kind of showing what our mantras were at the moment. I did a little bit of grinding, if I remember correctly. I haven't done this. It's been a week since I've done this episode because I'm trying to have these all done so that these can be all ready. But yeah, though, we had to go ahead and go through the marble base and beat the leader here. And what we were told by Gale was that the individual soldiers are weak, but the leader is strong. So yeah. Anyways, here's our large terminal. We can use this to save, you know, all that good stuff. But I don't think I do anything with it. The only thing, well, I do heal a little bit. You want to make sure, though, that you go to large terminals, because if you don't go to them, then you can't teleport to them later. So you have to at least go up to them, and then you can teleport to them later. So make sure you do that. Otherwise, it's kind of like, ugh, I want to teleport, but I can't. And here we have a vendor, and we're going to want to start selling our items soon because there's a couple of good items we can get that we will actually want to buy. And it's like a spray. It's basically like a Pokemon Repel, but with monsters, which can be useful. And anyways, we have one new enemy, kind of. We've already fought this enemy before, a ghoul. And they were just talking about hunting skills, about eating enemies, but I've already told you about that. But yeah, though, so... And there's another enemy we fought, the Pietras, but I never talked about them. And ghouls are just apparently from Arabian folklore, and the word ghoul is Arabic for demon, so... which dwells in graveyards and abandoned places. So there's that. And the other enemy we fought, which is the purple one, is a Peretra. It's Peretra. And it is, in Japanese, hungry ghost. And it's a spirit that originates from Buddhist and Hindu texts. Generally, they're spirits of greedy, jealous, or corrupted people who have become this creature for negative karma. Interesting. Okay, and it also represents something in the 6 realms that represent the 6 states of rebirth. Oh, cool. Well, there we go. And just leveling up, and now we can actually, because we leveled up high enough, we can actually put new skills on our character. So that's really useful, because we want to put more skills. Obviously, I don't have a whole bunch right now. And yes, I am going to organize all the skills in a certain order for each character. I have to do it. Just going to apologize for that now, but I have to do it. It just helps me so I don't accidentally make a mistake. If I have each character with their own, like, setup, like, Argilla will always have her healing first before her attacks. He will always have his physical attacks before his magic, and so on. Each character has their own little setup. But in that, though, this place isn't too hard. It's just a bit long. And it can be even longer if you don't know your way around. Thankfully, I do know my way around pretty efficiently, and I get lucky because sometimes I'll go the right way just by accident because there's just a lot of places where there's dead ends and there's just good items you can get. And Argilla gained another level, which is nice. And again, that means I can set her with more stuff. But I don't. You really want to be starting. You really want to make sure you get Argilla's second Earth ability so that you can do more Earth damage. But I actually put that off for quite a while for some reason, which isn't necessarily the best idea because Argilla just doesn't do a whole lot of damage, which is a little annoying. But I really focused on her getting most of her healing abilities really early on, so she becomes a very proficient healer. And the gimmick of this level is that you have to activate switches to get to gates. Most of the switches are right near the gate, but there's some that are a little more out of the way. So yeah, nothing too hard. And the other gimmick of this place is we will get ambushed a little bit. Not right now, but later on we do get ambushed. And so yeah, this place is relatively big, kind of maze-like. There's a lot of different levels, so it can be a little confusing on the best route to go. Because there's ladders that can go up, there's staircases that go up, but you want to go up here because then you can get that item over there. And I think that item is just, I think it's just a bullet, so it's not really necessary, but I am trying to get every item just because I like to do that. Gives you a little more time to get some more levels and to grind a little bit, because you really do want the levels in this game. you want to get those mantras leveled up as much as you can. Okay, no, it's a sell, so that's good. So I can actually sell that. And like I said before, after you sell a certain amount of cells, I'm not sure if it's a certain amount of money you make from the cells or a number of cells that you sell altogether. But eventually, they'll start opening up new items that you can buy. So you do want to do that. And you want to sell those at certain solar levels so you can get more money. And so, right now, Argilla's, she's on the physical karma right now, physical mantra, because I want her to learn, like, Devour. And there's other abilities like AP Divide, which is super useful. But I think I'm probably just going to teach my main character that, because the other characters don't really need it. Because it's good for grinding, and then he can just eat all the enemies, and then they all share it. So, yeah. And I'm not sure what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, because she mastered it, I'm going to give her a new ability. And I think I'm going to go to healing, though, if I remember correctly. I think I'm going to... Yeah, I think I'm going to go to healing. Yeah, so you want to definitely get the next ability right here, Fallen Hero, because Midia is basically just Dia, but just for everybody. So it just is a Dia for every character. It's a little more expensive. While Dia is only 3 MP, this one I believe is 10. But it heals everybody, so that's really nice. So you definitely want to get that. It's pretty useful in the beginning. But if you don't have Dia, if you don't have Midia, what you can do is if you have 2 characters who have Dia, you can make them combine their magic together to use Midia. And I don't know if I mentioned that, but there's combo magic, and it can actually be pretty useful in some cases, because one of the really useful spells is I believe it's called it's a Dejaka, something like that, but I don't remember its name right now. But what it does is it allows you to take away all the stat bonuses from your enemies, so it completely negates them and reduces them back to 0. So they don't have any negatives, but they don't have any bonuses. And that's a spell that you don't get for a pretty long time in the Karma mantra rings. In the mantra grid. So having that can be pretty useful. But you gotta be careful though, because it does use 2 turns when you combine magic together. So you want to make sure that you're kind of planning that out. But it can be really useful, and it can be for all different types of spells. Even there's some combos for bullets. And here's an enemy I don't remember if we fought, but I'm just showing it anyways. He's kind of funny. It's a blob, and he'll try and use earth magic on you. I believe that's what it is, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all, which is pretty funny. And yep, the blob is just a blob. That's literally what it is. It's just kind of an upgrade of slime, and then the upgrade of that is black ooze, which is probably one of my more favorite monsters. I love it. I love the way it looks. Yeah, but anyways, though. So you want to check all these rooms because there's some pretty good items, and you do need the blue key card to get through here. Did get a quick noise, and that gives you more Jolie, which I am going to use. Nice thing is, too, it heals your MP. I'm going to start kind of hoarding onto those because sometimes it's nice to use those as just to use it as a quick heal to get all your MP back, because I don't like to use my chakra drops. I'm not really sure why. You get a lot of them throughout the game, but I just kind of like to hold on to those and hoard them. So yeah. Oh, and there we go. Learn new ability, Venom Claw and Mad Rush. Don't really use them. Venom Claw can be a little bit useful because sometimes it is good to have maybe a physical attack on my character, because there's some characters that are just kind of resistant to magic in general. So it's just kind of helpful to do that. So, and it can poison them, which can actually be pretty useful at times, because poison will do a pretty decent chunk of damage to enemies. I don't know what the percentage is, but it can be good. Ooh! Oh my goodness. Heat, I think they're talking about you. They want to devour your ass. Wow. I didn't know Heat had so many admirers. My goodness. But, hey, you stay away from my man titties. But, I love that. You stay away from my titty meat! But, yeah, so just keep going. The encounter rate feels really high here. I don't know if it is higher, but it feels really, really high here. It's, yeah. As you can see, our magic's getting quite up there. It's almost 200, which is really nice. Yeah, that will definitely be going up a lot. Just because in the later episodes, I'm really just going to start pouring it on the magic. Just because, you know. Because the nice thing is, though, putting it in the magic means I also have... magic also does less damage to me, too. So here we have another cockatrice, and I'm just showing it because it's a special encounter, even though there's nothing different about it. It's exactly the same, and as you can see, just tear it a new one. Just tear it a new chicken hole. Pretty simple. But we don't kill him, though, so we don't need him. I love that these guys all have, like, mohawks. They're all like the punks. The marbles are all like the punks of the junkyard world. And we get Frigid Shot, which I do give to the main character, but again, you don't ever really want to use your guns, but it's not a bad idea to put it on him, one of your characters, because you are going to be forced into an encounter where you will be in your human state, and they kind of teach you about gunplay for a second, but it's really shallow when it comes to how it works, because like I said, there's very few enemies that are actually vulnerable to guns. I mean, I guess there is a benefit to becoming human, and that's you become resistant to you null expel, which halves all of your HP, but I think it also nulls you from instant kill Mudo magic, which is the opposite, where it instantly kills you but has a very low rate of success. But if it hits, you're instantly dead, so it's pretty hard. But I don't remember what I'm going to make my character go into. I think I'm going to go put him back in the magic, but I think it's going to be like healing magic. Or am I gonna... Nope. Oh, what am I gonna do? There we go. Okay, I put him in the Demon Beast, yeah. You do want to continue down that line because you get the ability AP Divide and Iron Stomach. And Iron Stomach prevents you from having any stomach aches, which is really good. And an AP Divide, whenever the character who has it eats an enemy, he shares the meat with them. So you get bonus points, but you also get a little more extra, which is really nice. And here we have a new enemy who will use that ability, which makes it harder to hit them and makes it improves their accuracy. And he is a Yaka. And I guess let's see, these are disease-causing spirits in Sir Lankan myths. I have no idea what Sir Lankan is. Interesting. They look a lot like Pietra, though. And they're usually ganged up with Pietras, too. But yeah, though, they're pretty easy. They're weak to magic. They're pretty simple. And I'm kind of a little... I wouldn't say I'm over-leveled, but I definitely have some decent abilities to where... And because I pump so much into magic, yeah, it's pretty helpful. And anyways, we have another new creature called the Nazusuchi. And this thing is actually considered a dragon in this game. I know, it's pretty weird. And it's a spirit of the earth that is found in open plains, hiding in shadows of plants and trees. It's not evil, or it's not an evil or mischievous creature, but it is wild and uncontrollable, and can cause harm to humans sometimes. And I guess its name means God of the Plains. Interesting. Yeah, I know I'm just giving like a super brief summary of what these are, but I think it's just kind of a cool little talking point. They're not that hard to beat, though, but I do believe they absorb ice, if I remember, so you don't want to do... It's either they absorb ice or earth. I can't remember what, but putting up a void earth isn't a bad idea. And as you can see, I'm putting that Venom Claw to work. It actually can be pretty useful at times. I like their trunks, though. It's like shrunk people from Rick and Morty. He just wanted to have a relationship with a man and a woman, but I instead decided to murder him, so I took away that choice. And definitely going to use some Dia, because need that. Need that magic. My goodness. Need that heal. And yeah, it feels like the encounter rate is pretty high here, but it's, yeah. Not as bad as other places. But yeah, though, that battle took a toll on me. And Argilla's pretty low on magic, so I am going to actually use a Chakra Drop on her. Thankfully, it's still pretty early in the game where getting 50 MP back is a pretty substantial amount, because they don't have that much MP. I mean, my main character does, but everyone else doesn't. And I believe this is another cell. Most of those are just, yeah, if they're not bullets, then they're cells. And occasionally there are other very rare one-off items, like a card or a special item you get after defeating a secret boss. But we don't have to worry about that because that's not anytime soon. Anyways, another blue wall. You definitely want to destroy it because there are more goodies to be had. The nice thing is, though, the cards aren't required. You could go through the whole game without getting a card. It's just that there's a lot of goodies behind them, so you definitely do want to get them. I mean, why wouldn't you want to get them, though? There's a lot of good goodies behind them, so it's just generally a good idea. But you do need them, though, if you want to fight the secret bosses. And more goodies from me. I like the way the items look, the item boxes look in this game. I like how they kind of poof into smoke. What I really like about the when you go by the barriers for the cards, I like how it looks all pixelated, like it's like all of them are little hexagons, like it's all data just like being destroyed or something. It just looks very cool. It just looks very technological. There's actually a lot of there's a couple of walls in this place though. Like I think we've already run across 2 yellow walls. I know we've run across 1, so we can't do anything about that, unfortunately. We don't get the yellow card for quite a bit, actually, which is surprising. Because they make you run across a lot of yellow walls in between there, so you have to remember where you've come across them. And right now, I'm still trying to spread them evenly, but I'm going to eventually give up on that in, like, I don't know, maybe the next episode, and just start throwing it all in the magic. Because, yeah, I just do. And again, though, if you really want a more balanced main character, you really want to put your ability points into physical attack and luck, because those 2 are the hardest those are the hardest items to get that increase your stats permanently, because you can the magic ones are pretty easy to get because you can get them from an enemy drop, and it's relatively consistent. And the life one is relatively rarer, but with the grinding you get a lot of them. So yeah, and then the luck one, I don't remember about the luck one, honestly, but yeah. Anyways, the switch for this gate is actually up here, so it's a little more annoying to get to. So you have to come all the way up here. Yeah, we're not as weak as you thought we were, huh? And I took kind of a beating, and he has a stomach ache. I honestly hate stomach aches. I think they're one of the worst things in real life. I hate the way they feel. Oh, I can't stand. There's a couple things I can't stand. I can't stand stomach aches, and I can't stand cold ears. Oh my gosh, it's like my ears are having a headache when they're cold. They just hurt so much. But anyways, though, we're not talking about my ears nor my stomach aches. So yeah, there's a heal terminal pretty close by, so that's nice. So definitely want to use that. But yeah, this place is kind of long. There's just a lot of ends to go, and it's relatively easy to get lost if you don't know your way. But I played through this game like 4 times, so I'm pretty good at it. I have a relatively good idea where I want to go. Plus, I'm just going through every room anyways, just because, like I said, it's just good to clear out the whole map. Because you can get, I mean, this way you never have to go to the store. Occasionally you might need to buy some items for like some things, but normally though, if you go to every room and get every item, you'll never have to go to the store for items, which is nice. Alright, looks like the presents ran away. Alright. And there's that door that we unlocked, thankfully, and again, I gotta heal. And yeah, running out of MP. I don't know why I used it though, because I'm right near a heal terminal. I think I was just being a little extra cautious because I couldn't remember if there was an ambush coming up. And I don't remember if there is, honestly. But we'll see. But yeah, though, you really do just want to save all your money that you get, that you would use to buy items for the mantras, because they're very expensive. Thankfully, though, in the second game, there is an item that you can get that will actually increase the amount of money you get, so that is really nice, and that will help alleviate some of the grinding. Oh, and here we have a new enemy, and this is where it introduces you to the gun mechanic. And I don't know if we've ever been ambushed before, but you will occasionally be ambushed by enemies, and you'll be in your human phase, so you haven't had the chance to transform. I think we've had this before, but I don't remember. And then it takes a whole turn to transform. And these are one of the few enemies that are actually weak to bullets, but the only reason why I'm staying in my bullet form is because Surf can actually do a relatively decent amount of damage with his gun. Plus, he has a chance to freeze them because I gave him the friend shot. Argilla, though, is really not useful here because she still has the first bullet in the game, and it's only 8 damage. Now, these creatures are called Maka, and it is presumed to be a goddess of ancient Ireland, associated with war, horses, sovereignty, and the sites of Arm-Aga, Emina, Maka, and country Armga. I have no idea what that means. I guess there's a number of figures in Irish mythology that are called Maka, and they're believed to all come from the same deity. Okay, interesting. Well, it's just a bird, so... I mean, I don't mean that in a way like, oh, it's just a bird. I meant like, it's just... No. Yeah, and there's a stomach ache. Poor he ate some bad chicken. Come on, you got 2 hits. And yep, he was so close to getting his mantra completed, but he had to eat some bad chicken. But he'll be okay. He's tough. Thankfully, though, there's a healing terminal, and I can save my stomach ache. I believe I have magic to cure the stomach ache, but the only thing that's kind of annoying is you can't use magic unless it's set. Obviously, for battles, that makes sense, but for, like, in the field, you can't use it, which is kind of annoying. So then you can't, like, you know, heal a stomach ache, because it's not magic that you would normally have on your character. So you could set it and then take it off, but it's just kind of annoying. But it's what it is, you know. You should get plenty of items for that. Some delicious mint tea. And we're more than halfway done with this place. We're relatively close to the end now. I'd say we're getting there. We're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. It's not fair. The marbles and the vanguards have a way bigger base than us. I like the marbles better than the vanguards, but... Oh, okay, here's a new thing called the field hunt. Now, the field hunts can be found occasionally in levels, and as you can see, it's kind of a different mechanic where you have to destroy these spirit orb things in a certain amount of time frame, because when you do, a special monster will appear, and it gives you a crap ton of AP to devour. You have to eat these enemies, otherwise it doesn't work. And I'm going to show you how to not do it correctly because I messed up in this. And these things only appear once. Thankfully, though, if you don't get enough orbs and you don't get to actually fight the monster, then you can actually leave the room and come back. There's no penalty for not making the monster appear. There is a penalty, though, if you make the monster appear and you fight it and then you just don't do it correctly, then you can't come back. You can come back in here, but the creature won't be here. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, as we mess up. These things are weak to ice, and you want them to get scared, but unfortunately, though, they just don't get scared, and when they do, I just don't do enough damage to actually eat them. So yeah, I did a pretty bad job. And these things are called Era Matima, and they represent aggression and forcefulness, and the source of valor, anger, passion, and other heated emotions. So yeah, I do really bad here. I will show a successful one in the future that a little more successful, not a ton more successful, but a little more. But these things, though, give you a lot of AP. But like I said, though, they don't stay very long. They run away. But they can level you up real fast. So yeah, though, if you find them, these are good to come. You can only do them once, though. So since I messed up on that, they won't come back. But if I didn't, get enough orbs, then I could leave and come back, and then I could retry it again. So, that's just what happens, though, when you screw up. But it's all good. So, yeah. Little disappointed, but it's okay. It's not a huge deal. Most of my grinding, most of the mantras, I just grind off screen anyways for levels. Because it just kind of works like that. So, it's not a big deal. And we're getting close to the end of this. Oh! Okay, so sometimes those treasure chests will actually contain enemies. And this enemy is actually really annoying because he'll cause a stun ability. Like a daze or stun. And what daze does is it makes you way more likely to miss with your attacks. And obviously when you miss, you lose a lot of turns. Like up to 2. So it can really screw you over. And they like to use earth magic. And apparently these things are an army of Yoma and they were used to pursue Izanagi. And if you know who Izanagi is the main protagonist from Persona 4's Persona, when he fled to the underworld. So I don't know about that story. I don't know what Izanagi's story is, but I guess these guys were used as foot soldiers to try and capture him. So yeah. But those guys can be annoying just because they can, it feels like they get criticals a lot, and that daze, it's not a stun. I think it is actually considered a stun. I think it's called stun, so that stun is really annoying. And I'm putting taunt on heat because taunt can actually be a really useful move, and I don't know if I mentioned what taunt does, but taunt, because I think he just learned it, taunt will increase the attack of your enemy, but it drastically decreases their defense. So it can be really useful in some cases. If your enemy can't really do a lot of damage to you, because you can just keep weakening them with one of the other abilities that weaken attack, and then you can just go ahead and just hit them with their lower defense, or you can use the ability that gets rid of all the positive effects on them, which would be the attack up that you gave them, and that way it would disappear and they would only have the negative defenses down that you would give them, which can also be pretty useful. Or you can just use the other ability that just puts defense down, or debilitate. But debilitate's a really expensive move and you don't get it until very late in the game. But yeah, though. And I think I'm just coming here to change his... Yeah, I'm changing Heat's Karma because I want to give him a new one. Yeah, you just want to keep going down the physical road. It's not a bad idea to give him more magic, too, because, you know, having heat magic, even if he's not super strong with it, if an enemy's weak to it, then that does give you an extra turn, which can be pretty valuable. So it's not always about just doing a ton of damage, but that extra turn that you can get from it is really, really helpful. And, okay. More enemies. Oh, and level up. And I'm going to pump some in the magic, and I'm going to pump some probably in the... What am I going to pump in? Strength. Okay, yeah. So that way I can take a little less damage from physical attacks, and I can do a little more. So, yeah. I like the way the HP and the MP bar look. I don't know why. It looks kind of cool. They're like vital signs for the HP. Wonder if that's a hint about something. And the MP is just... Actually, I don't remember what the MP looks like. I just saw it a second ago. Did I really forget what it looked like? Wow, I'm an idiot. You have to forgive me. Oop, and Argil leveled up. Very nice. Okay, yeah, the MP is just like a straight blue line. And more items for me. Yeah, I do like the Marvel's base. They have nice beds. They're not in the center of the earth like our team is. Ooh, I almost missed that. And not in the center of the earth like our team is. And they have their own kind of designated wings. So that's pretty nice. And let's see. Okay, now you gotta go up. And around this bend. I was just making sure there's nothing there, but there's not. There's nothing there. And these enemies, oh my gosh. I mean, it's useful in the fact that you get enough experience, but oh my gosh, they just keep coming. It's a little annoying after a while. And I was just saving my game just to make sure, because I think we're going to come up against a couple more ambushes, and I wanted to make sure. Yep, something's down there. Gotta make sure to save. And I think we're going to fight a more annoying enemy. He can be a little tricky if you're not prepared. Nope, okay, it's not the enemy yet. But trust me, there is an enemy that can catch you kind of off guard if you're not prepared. But thankfully I am prepared, so I'm fine. And I like the little gates, the little chains. It's always funny in games when you have like something that's so tiny there and you can't get past it. Look at this punk. Uh-oh, more guys. They all have the solid eye. Alright, so we have more... What are those, Yakos? I don't remember, but I hate... Okay, so he just improved his defense. That's not too big of a deal, because that's not magic defense. But he did use Void Fire, which is a little annoying, but I'll just beat him anyways, because they're still weak to ice, which is nice. And anyways, one of the new abilities I learned is Double Feast, and Double Feast is really nice because it has a chance of it will fatally hurt. If an enemy is scared, it has a chance of fatal, which means it will instantly eat them, even if they would have survived from the damage, which is really nice. Oh yeah, that's good. And Vile Blade is really useful too because it's just a wide arcing attack, and as you can see, it's pretty damn destructive. It can be a little bit of a risk though, because if you're not careful, it will miss sometimes. Now this is the enemy that you gotta be careful about because he can use Power Charge, and what Power Charge does is it increases your physical attack. So it pretty much doubles it, so it's pretty damn dangerous. And this thing is a Gooey Coup. It's a monster with the head of a bull and the body of a spider. Yep, that's about it. Doesn't really... It's seen through many shrines throughout Japan. There's shrines, I guess, dedicated to this creature in Japan. But yeah, it's a mean guy. But he is weak to earth, though, which is nice. And I will soon be teaching my main character, Dia, just because it's better to use that instead of items. Because his magic is so high, he can heal for quite a bit. But for right now, though, because he doesn't, we're just gonna have to resort to items because I'm using her to use because I want her to actually do damage. This was a bit of a risky move because he already is relatively strong, and then letting him have taunt makes him do even more damage, and then with the chance of him using Power Charge, that could make him pretty dangerous. And he does have an attack that will hit multiple enemies, I believe. Thankfully, though, he didn't kill my main character, but I lowered his defense, so he just took a pretty big beating. But there you go. If you're not careful, he can be a bit dangerous, but thankfully, I was okay. I pulled out on top, baby. I'm not gonna eat you, but he's off. Yeah, definitely need to heal. Give me that health, baby. And now we just need to open up one more. Well, this gate leads back to the main place, but we need to go through this gate over here. This is where Janana's waiting for us. But there's a door we want to go through real quick. Just make sure you save here, because we are coming up to the boss. He can actually be tricky if you don't know what to do. If you do, then he's not that hard. But if you don't, then he might give you a little trouble. I like the sound it makes. Dunk. It's a nice sound. Anyways, you want to come over here because there's an item we can get, and then you can go ahead and face the boss after you run into a random encounter. And the item is, I don't remember. Okay, it's a chakra pot. And chakra pot heals for 150 MP. I think I've said that before, but I can't recall. You know. And I just need the... I wish the main characters had I wish Argilla had Media. That would have made this fight a little easier, but it's not too bad without it. You can do it without. I have some healing items, and it's fine. It's not that hard of a fight. You just, if you know what to do, then it's not too bad. But here's that woman with the brand on her ass and the star face, man.
We didn't come here to fight against you.
My name is Bat. Remember it. It will be carved into your corpse.
I've been dying for a snack. Come here.
Ooh, he's sassy. And here we have our boss. His name is Kamazats, or this is Bat's avatar tuner. And he can be a little annoying because he can stun you. I mean, he can stun you, which can be a little annoying. And he's not particularly weak to magic. He's more weak to physical attacks, which is good that we have heat. But even then, he's not that weak. And we can't hit him with his weakness at the moment. His weakness is actually earth, but right now he can't be hit with it because he's in the air. And he has a terrible habit of using an ability called Rage, which will give him 2 extra turns. That move can actually be a little dangerous if you're not careful. Now, this is what you want to do. When he uses the ability Guard, you want to hit him with an Earth ability. And I was looking if I had any Earth magic. I mean, if I had any Earth items, but I don't. So, I'm just going to pass. And you can't do anything against him. I think I do taunt him so that I can do a little more damage to him, but you want to use Terra on him because that will be his weakness. It does a pretty good amount of damage. And that's basically it. And you just want to go from there. And you can't devour bosses that way. Now, this creature, like I said, is Kamazats. And he's a Mayan creature. He's a bat god. And was the central god of ancient Mayan culture, which may have owed its existence to giant vampire bats, which are now extinct. Okay. It's a bat-like monster. Yeah, it's not a nice thing. Yeah, so it's from Mayan mythology, though. That's interesting. Pretty lucky for bats that he got a bat creature, right? And not something like a fish. Death Spray is actually relatively good. As you can see, it hits multiple times, so that's nice. But again, I can't hit him with his weakness until he comes to the ground. But the rage ability, there are a couple of enemies in the game that have the ability to give themselves more turns, which can be very annoying. And Surf does die, so that's not great, but I do heal him, I think. I know I do, but I just don't remember who I do it with. Oh yeah, we get to see Heat's animation. I don't know if we've shown it before, but I love it. He pulls an item out of his mouth. It's so great. Yeah, so we're doing okay. Not amazing, but just okay. And he also has HP Thief, so he can steal HP. It's not that dangerous. MP Thief is actually a little more dangerous because it has a chance of muting you. But he doesn't have MP Thief. He only has HP Thief. I didn't really need to heal Heat there, but, you know. The taunt is kind of backfiring on me from what it looks like, just because it is making his attack stronger, and his Spiral Edge is actually kind of annoying because it hits all of us at once, which can be a detriment. But other than that, though, he's really not too bad. It's just really just much of this. You just keep hitting him, you just keep taking his attacks. That's about it. And he got away from the guard. I do really like his design, though. His design's pretty neat. And the music's good here, too. It's like I'm throwing a grenade, a health grenade. And I think I go for another taunt, because this way, Terra will do a lot more damage. Yeah, as you can see, he did about 20 more damage. Now he's actually on the floor. And see? Oh, and there we go. Pretty easy fight. You just gotta wait for him to sit on the ground so that you can, you know, hit him with Terra. But he is the first enemy you encounter that can have multiple turns. So that is kind of like an, oh gosh, he can attack multiple times. Is kind of a dangerous, you know, thing. But, yeah, just, you know, clip his wings and he'll be about done. Not too hard. He's like a weird hedgehog with two heads.
Don't stop me. This is the new law. We must devour those weaker than us.
Heat!
Why do you not kill Bat? According to the new commandment, your ally is correct.
Why? I don't want to. I don't like needless killing.
Your name, tell me.
Argilla.
Argilla. I accept your tribe's proposal. The Maribel will ally themselves with the Embryon.
Shinana, you can't trust them. If I had more power...
I am the one in charge here. Go tend to your wounds.
We thank you, Janana.
Thank you. Such beautiful words. Follow me. That is the solid citadel. That is why even the brutes cannot overtake them.
So that's why they can focus on attacking your tribe.
All you gotta do is kill the boss.
Mick the Slug is very careful. He never sets foot on the battlefield.
That's no good. What do we do?
The Maribel will create a diversion, while we distract the solids, sneak in, and kill Mick.
All right, and you know what? That's what we're going to do. But you know what? We're going to save that for the next part. So this has been Yohhamgambal. Thanks for watching. See you next time as we continue to play Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga. Okay, bye then.